Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here and welcome to the next episode of our Gibraltar Challenge here on Football Manager 2016. As you can see, once again we played through all of the season now, and unfortunately we didn't make it through to the Senior Cup League final this season. The first time we haven't reached there in about 2 or 3 years, so that's a bit of a shame. I was hoping to try and get the domestic quad again this year, but we've already won the Pepe Reyes Cup, the league is already done as well, and we do have the Rock Cup final at least, so we're going to hopefully get the treble in this one. Let's have a quick look at the league. There you can see we are currently 13 points at the top, and we have a game in hand, which is of course the last game of the season, so we can win this league by 16 points, which is quite dominant. Still a little bit disappointed with the amount of games we've drawn and lost actually. I thought we'd actually dominate a bit more. As you can see, we have started to dominate some of these as well, and look at this, Michael Luke has actually scored 17 goals this season. A player I often moan about because I just don't think he's doing as well as he probably should be. But yeah, he's scored a lot of goals this year, and Ashley Miller as well scored quite a few. Steve Foster and Ashley Riley doing really well there. I think Ashley Riley is really close to assists as well, so we've done pretty well this season, and the league itself is back up to 218th, which is pretty good. So we're hopefully trying to build up the reputation of the league and the reputation of our club to hopefully, potentially, go professional very, very soon. I'm not sure if it's possible or not, but I'm sure we'll find something. Goal difference, as you can see, we're really doing well. 37 plus goals, which is obviously dominant compared to all the other teams in the league. Right, enough of me blabbing. Let's get on to our first match of the episode, and that's going to be the last league game away against Lions. And here we are. As you can see, we are firm favourites for this one. This match means nothing really. Britannia and St. Joseph's are already in the Europa League spots. We've already won. Gibraltar United, I think, are already down, are they? Or if Gibraltar United beat Lynx, there's a chance they could get out of it. Angels already down. But yeah, we are heavy favourites. Ashley Miller's actually the man to watch in this match. We have made a few changes, I think, just to try and spice things up towards the end of the season. Let's tell them that we want a win from this one. It's missed the lineups. There we go. So we've gone back to this sort of formation because we know a lot of our stronger players are midfielders, really. So we've got Callum McDonald at goalkeeper. On the left, we've got Baxter, who's had another very, very good season, and he's getting better and better and better, Baxter. We've got Maguire at centre-back, who's having a bit of a rough patch at the moment, but still doing pretty well, I think. We've got Cooper at centre-back as well, and again, his stats are starting to drop a little bit, not quite sure why. Ashley Riley at right-back, who's just getting better and better. He's the one with the piercing eyes. Yeah, he's doing pretty well this season as well. Average rating of 7.43, which is very good. We've got Conroy at defensive midfield, who's not played a lot of games this season, but we've not often used a defensive midfielder, but whenever we do, this guy is obviously the first name on the list. We've got Lewis Stevens, which is a player I play quite a bit this season now. He's a very, very good young player, and I think he's got really good potential, so I want to give him a bit more football, and he's doing pretty well here this season. As you can see, he's had 8 games, 1 assist, so I think he's getting there. He's building himself up, and obviously his stats are going up as well, so that's pretty good to see. You've got good old Frank Evans in the centre of midfield, of course, just a rock. 36 caps and 3 goals for Gibraltar, but that's not the highest goal scorer anymore. We'll have a look at that in a second. We've got Lee Howard in midfield as well. Again, another player with really good looking stats, and I think he's got good potential as well, so we're trying to use him a bit more. In attacking midfield, there is the guy, Ashley Miller, the player we brought a couple of years ago on a free transfer, generated without a club. He's done pretty well for us, as you can see. 12 games, 11 goals, 5 assists. He's been a cracking player for us. But look up here, he's had 7 caps for the national side, and he's scored 5 goals. That's incredible. That makes him the highest ever goal scorer in Gibraltar history, which is pretty insane. And the man who's actually fighting him for that crown is now Michael Luke, who recently scored 2 goals against Andorra in 1 match, which was pretty impressive. So he's actually doing really well this year. I've often said I'm annoyed about how little goals he scores, but this season he seems to be knocking quite a few more in. 17 in the league, 2 in the Rock Cup as well, so he's done pretty well for us. So let's get into the game. Let's go. Result of this match doesn't really matter. We've already won the league. We're already 13 points up, so if we win this one, we'll win the league by 16 points, which I think is probably our highest margin so far. We've been winning it by 9 or so points every year. It'd be nice to dominate it a bit more. Ashley Miller sees the run of Stevens. Can he get on the end of it? No, he can't. I thought he might have just got there. I've got a plan at the end of the season. I'm going to try and play a couple of friendly matches against some bigger sides. We have to pay, I think, to play against them sometimes. You have to pay a fee to bring them in. But still, I think that might help us on boosting our reputation, playing against some bigger sides. So I might give that a try, because I can request to become a professional side once again at the moment, but I've held off at the moment because I want to get all these trophies won, and I want to get through the Champions League as well, so our reputation will be at its highest. And there's another goal by Michael Luke. What a great finish set up by Lee Howard. Yeah, I want to get the championships won here, get the Rock Cup won, and then I want to get into the Champions League as well. And I think once all that's done, that's going to raise our reputation a little bit higher and give us more chance to become a professional side. I have also requested to improve our training facilities. The club said we didn't have enough money, and I've also requested to build our own stadium, and the club said that we didn't have enough fan supporters yet. So still, I think we may be a little bit off reaching some of our targets, but that's a good thing. We don't want to finish this series too early. I think we're only about episode 50 odd, are we? We're getting close there now. So this is the end of our 6th season. I think a few people have managed to get professional and stuff like that in their 10th season, so we're not too far away from getting there. I'm just going to have to try and be a little bit clever with trying to get our reputation a bit higher. If we can do well in the Champions League and get through to that 3rd qualifying stage, or even if we're lucky enough to get through to the 4th qualifying stage, because we know if we get through to the 4th, we're guaranteed to get into the Europa League group stages, which would be a massive thing for us, because that guarantees us 6 matches against some of the bigger teams in Europe. That would really raise our reputation. I think that would be a good thing. I think one of the things we mainly struggle with is at the moment, because the Champions League qualifying starts so early in the season, all of our players have no match fitness and no condition either. So I think by playing a couple of friendly matches before the end of the season, that might really help us to sort of build ourselves up and gain that match fitness and match sharpness ready for the Champions League matches. That'll give us a little bit more chance to do well. I know in the first qualifying round we generally get an easy team to play against. We've always got through that first qualifying round. The second qualifying round is where we always seem to struggle. We lost last year to Debrecen. The year before we lost to Apoel. The year before it was Maccabi Tel Aviv, and the year before that it was Malmo. And hopefully this, our 5th year in the Champions League, will be the lucky one. The one where we either get a really lucky draw or one where we get a lucky result, maybe. I think the more time we've spent in the Champions League, our seeding has been growing every single year. So hopefully we might end up moving up the seedings and hopefully trying to avoid some of these bigger clubs, because that would be great. If we can get like an Azerbaijani side or something like that, it would be a lot better for us. Because I was looking at the 3rd qualifying stage last year after we've been knocked out, and you see some of the clubs in there, and you think to yourself, we could beat them. We really could, but we didn't get a chance because we got knocked out in the 2nd qualifying stage. We got put against some very, very difficult sides, which was a bit of a shame. Who can we bring on? Let's bring on Tristan Sargent, who hasn't played as much this season as he normally has done. Let's bring off Lewis Stevens because he's got a low condition, and let's bring on Hulk as well, who again hasn't played as much because Michael Luke's been playing so well. We have experimented with several different formations again this season. One very attacking formation we played was with 3 strikers, which seemed to work pretty well. I seem to remember we got 5 goals in the first half of one game, and then we didn't score in the second half. It was a bit of a shame, but having Miller, Luke and Hulk all up front at the same time was great. And here is Hulk. Oh, he's going to cut away from him. And Baxter now into Frank Evans. Come on, Frankie, what do you got? Miller. Miller sees the run of Hulk, and Hulk could not put it into the back of the net, unfortunately. You would have fancied him with a little bit more fitness. You would have fancied him to have pulled that one off, but like I say, he hasn't played a lot of games recently, Hulk either. It's a bit of a shame, but like I say, playing this formation with the 5 midfielders, they've equalised in the 82nd minute. That's a bit of a shame. Tony Flood. Yeah, it's playing this formation, of course, we have 5 midfielders, which allows us to play all of our strongest players, because all our strongest players are midfielders at the moment. We've got Conroy at defensive midfield. We've got Lewis Stevens, I think is a very good player. We've got Frank Evans, Tristan Sargent, John McDonald. We've got Lee Howard. Some really good, and obviously Foster as well. We've got some really, really good midfield players, which is why we're playing this formation, really. Can we steal it back? There's only 20 seconds left. There's the corner, and it's caught well. It looks like this game is going to end in a draw. A bit of a shame way to end the season, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. I've already won the league anyway. It's all now about starting to plan for next season, starting to plan for the Champions League. We didn't get anybody in the youth intake that was any good. I have brought a player from Gibraltar Phoenix, a right back, who should be coming in the summer. We'll have a look at that next episode once he arrives. But yeah, I think I don't know what it is. I think as time's gone on, our youth academy is slowly starting to drop because we've got really good players come through in the first couple of seasons, and since then we just haven't had anyone else really good come through. But that's the end of this match. As you can see, we won the league anyway. We've won it by 14 points from St. Joseph's. St. Joseph's and Britannia are also going into the Europa League, so well done to them. Let's get into the Rock Cup final. And we are finally here. It's taken quite a while to get here, actually. I didn't realise there was about a month's gap between our last league game and this game. Now, Gibraltar United have only recently played in the Senior League Cup, which they actually won that final, so they've already won one championship. And they also only played their last league game a couple of days ago for some reason, so we're going to have the advantage with fitness of it. We've had a lot of time to sit back and prepare for this match, where I think they might be a little bit tired out. But let's see what we can do. As you can see, we are heavy favourites for this one, as you would expect. We should be heavy favourites at every match now in Gibraltar, really. Yeah, let's see what we've got. Let's have a look at the lineups. We again have stuck with the same sort of formation as we did last time. We brought in Tristan Sargent for this one. He's a little bit unhappy. He's not played a lot, and he hasn't really played a lot this season, I suppose. But there's just been a lot of players ahead of him. But I still think he's worth keeping hold of Tristan. He's a cracking player. But with the emergence of players like Howard and like the other guy, I've forgotten his name, Lewis Stevens, and Ashley Miller as well, Tristan Sargent's just had to fight for his place a little bit more. They're playing a 4-4-1-1, which should be easy enough for us to break down, really. Adam Miller's playing this one. He's not played a lot this season. Conroy, Sargent, Miller. Miller's been great for us this season. If you look at the goal return compared to Michael Luke, Michael Luke's done really well. He's scored 20 in 30 and got 5 assists, but Ashley Miller scored 14 in 17 and got 7 assists. So he's looked really, really good, and I'm amazed just how good Miller is. He seems to get better and better and better. And I really think we have found ourselves a star there. I didn't realise. I brought him in thinking we'll stick him in the under 18, see how he develops. He might end up being good enough to play in the first team. Then all of a sudden, he's become an absolute star for us. So hopefully we can pick up an easy win here. Like I say, Gibraltar United have already won the Senior League Cups. We don't really want them to. We don't want them to pick up 2 trophies in a year because we don't want to really take away from how great we are. We've already won the Pepe Reyes Cup and we've already won the league, but I think winning this cup as well would just put the ice on the cake. I think any season where we don't win at least one of the cups is not a good season, really. I know it's a little bit over the top, but at the same time, I really think we are a team that should be winning this sort of stuff. It's not difficult for us. So Michael Luke is in. Can he make it 1-0? He's taken his time, and it's a great save. I didn't think he was going to get the chance there. There's the corner. It's taken out. It looks like it's going to be another corner. Riley to take the corner. Now, Riley's high up there on the assists this year. He's done really, really well, and it's good corners like that. It's probably one of the reasons why. Plus, because we're playing quite a narrow formation with the 3 central midfielders, it gives the space for people like Ashley Riley to make a run down the outside and overlap players, which is one of the tactics I've tried to utilise quite a lot this season. Come on, guys, what do you got? Show me what you've got. We want to try and get this one won early-ish if we can. Like I said, I want to try and maybe do a couple of friendly matches after this match to end up the season. Hopefully, just trying to keep our fitness up for the Champions League, and also looking to try and raise our reputation as well. I'm not quite sure if it's going to work or not. I don't think we can get any big teams down here to play against us, but we can get some teams. I think they're not going to be world beaters, but going to be enough, I think, to offer us a little bit more. So it's 0-0 at half time, which is a little bit disappointing. I was hoping to have been in the lead by half time. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and read at the same time. It's quite difficult. Evans to Tristan Sargent. Ashley Miller. Come on, guys, bring it forward. Miller is an absolute star for us. I think he's going to be a big member of our team in the years coming forward. Of course, like I said in the last match, he's now the highest ever goal scorer for Gibraltar. Scored 5 goals, in 7 appearances, which is quite impressive, really. And I wonder whether us not playing for a few weeks might actually be going against us here. I thought it was going to be good for us because it means we can be really fit compared to them. But we have had 10 shots and 3 on target. We've got the majority of the possession as well, so maybe it's not too bad for us, but we need to be doing a bit more than this. I think Conroy and Foster are struggling a bit at the moment. Who do we have on the bench that we can bring on to try and spice things up? We've only really got Howard on the bench. Then we've got right back in Matindo, we've got Peachman who's a striker, and Cook who's a centre back. So there's only really Howard who can come on. I don't really want to have to bring him on yet, especially if we end up going to extra time and penalties like we did last season, because that was a bit of a tricky one, that was. Come on, guys, create something. We've had no highlights all game apart from the kickoffs, I'm sure. It's been quite disappointing, really. 82nd minute. Come on, spice things up a little bit. Why? Right, I think Conroy's going to have to come off soon, or maybe Foster. It's difficult. I think Foster might be the man because I don't want to risk him getting injured for the... Oh, looks like there is actually going to be a highlight. I don't want him getting injured for the Champions League matches coming up, so we're going to bring on Howard for Foster. Was that a highlight, or was that just the fact that I pressed the tactics button? It might have been the tactics button, I think. Come on, guys. It looks like we're going to go to extra time then. I'm sure every time I press record, the matches just aren't as good. We've done quite well all season. And yeah, I don't seem to be doing very well in this one. Let's tell them we're disappointed. I hope that's going to fire them up enough to try and spark some life into them, really. Come on, guys. Come on. Bring it forward. I wonder whether we might go to a different formation and bring on Peachman as an extra striker, because both Sargent and Conroy are struggling. I'm thinking if we take off Conroy, so then we've got Miller on the pitch already. Yeah, we've got no choice really, have we? So we take off Conroy. If we bring on Jack Peachman as a second striker. Peachman's done well this season. He seems to struggle. He seems to have a really good game. Let's play him as a defensive forward, actually. Seems to have a really good game. Scores a hat-trick, and then he comes in and he doesn't do very well after that. I think he's not got the greatest consistency in the game, which is a little bit disappointing. We do have a highlight though, which is pretty well. They have a highlight at the moment. If we can steal the ball off them and hit them on the break, that'd be fantastic. But a little bit of a worry here. They're coming forward. Come on, get the ball off them. Do not let them score. Whatever you do, I'll be devastated if these guys score against us. This would be a very disappointing season if we don't walk away with this cup. Right, Riley has got the ball. Come on. Break with it now. Break with it, McDonald. So the way back to the goalkeeper. Come on, McDonald, bring it forward. Is that going to be the end of this highlight, or is there going to be more in this? McDonald's a big ball forward. It's up to Miller. Great header by Miller. Back to Michael Luke, shall I say. Howard. Evans to Sargent. Sargent sees a run of Riley, and Riley's gone for the deep cross, and it's hit the crossbar. Michael Luke is there to tap it into the empty net, and it is 1-0. I don't know if Ashley Riley's going to get an assist for that, or whether that was just going to be down to sheer luck. But either way, I'm happy with that. We needed some luck like that, I think, and we have got it. Ashley Riley, yes, he is going to get the assist. You can tell because his name flashes back above his head. It was a deep cross, and this happened a few years ago when we had a cup final match, and it was Joseph who went for the deep cross, and it ended up lobbing the keeper and going in. And this year, looks like we've been lucky again. Ashley Riley with a deep cross. It hits the crossbar, And Michael Luke was there to tap it into the empty net, so we have been a bit lucky there. Now we're just going to hold out now, and 15 minutes without conceding a goal shouldn't be too difficult, I would hope. You'd think we're good enough to hold them off, and we're actually on the attack ourselves. And I would imagine they're going to be going quite attacking now, so we might be able to catch them on the break and get a second goal. Peachman to Tristan Sargent, who sees the movement by Peachman, who's on the edge of the area. Can he do something with it? He's taking a great shot on Harding. Fantastic agility to get across the area and make that save. There's the corner. Miller. Maguire. Oh, somebody put it in the back of the net. It's going to go out for another corner. We are pummeling them. Pummeling them at the moment. It's a tricky word to say. Howard with the corner. It's gone to Michael Luke. He's chested it down. That shows how much confidence he's got to chest down a corner in the middle of the penalty area. Just shows how much, yeah. It shows it's a bit easy for them, really. 10 minutes left. You just got to hold on for 10 minutes, guys. Then we get our domestic treble. They've got a deep free kick. There it is. It's headed clear by Maguire. And now Peachman's on the ball. Can we make a counter-attack out of this, potentially? Peachman sees the run of Howard over the top. Howard's cross. Tristan Sargent at the back. Side foot it into the back of the net. And there we go. 2-0 up. We have won the Rock Cup. Unless something incredible happens for Gibraltar United, we have won the Rock Cup. There's that side-footed shot by Tristan Sargent. Cipollina, who's playing at the back, who used to play for us. We've had quite a lot of players in the Gibraltarian League. The main reason is that a lot of players, you can't buy players from outside Gibraltar because they don't want to come for anything less than a full-time deal. So you can't buy these players in. Oh, it's 3-0 now. Miller puts the icing on the cake with that third goal. Yeah, you can't really buy any players from outside Gibraltar at the moment until you become professional. So it's difficult, and it means that the majority of players all stay in Gibraltar. So if someone's not good enough for us, they generally end up going to one of our rivals, which is a little bit annoying. You'd rather them not go to one of your rivals, of course. You'd rather them stay away. But it is what it is, I suppose. But we have won the Rock Cup. There is the 3-0 victory. I'm happy with that in the end. And that's been pretty good for us, actually. We've won the league, we won the Rock Cup, and we have won the Pepe Reyes Cup this season. So very, very good for us. That's going to be the end of this episode, I suppose. And at the end of season number 6. Next episode, we will come back and we will have the first knockout stage of next year's Champions League. Hopefully, it's going to be a nice draw for us. And that's what I'm hoping for. Something nice and easy that we can win easily, hopefully. Yeah, I'm saying a lot of hopes and easy and wins and technically and all that sort of stuff, but I don't want to commit myself because I just think season 6 would be a great time for us to start to move on in the Champions League and get through to the next round. I think that would be great for us, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next couple of episodes. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please do hit that like button. It does help me out a lot, and of course, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe for a lot more of this Gibraltar challenge on my channel. I've been Sheppy Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.